show that can match it. How to name another show that can match it. Everybody from classy to ratchet. Heat fans like Jamal keep the flame alive. Dennis Lee got the lake show locked in 5 to Dub K to Augusta GA. Talk everything from NBA to anime. Chat like homies or debate like enemies. It's all fun and games, just match my energy. Just match my energy. Just match my energy. Yeah.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to episode 16 of the Match My Energy podcast. It's your boy Dennis Lee, aka Dino Fit Dennis.
Hey, it's your boy JC2 Bless Jamal. Man, today got my homeboy from high school, Julius. Okay. Man, it's a special guest. I'm at his studio today, so it's a different setup. But you know, man, we've been rocking for the longest, man. Yes, we got the same interest, man. You know, my bro, man. You know, sometimes you have things where you like, we just friends, we kicking now and again, but this is honestly my brother, man.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, welcome to the podcast, man. Match My Energy, second official guest, man. So, welcome, man.
I appreciate y'all boys having me. Julius Cherry was. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at JayClouds. Yeah, welcome to my studio. Just posted this anywhere, so this is the first time it's going somewhere. Yeah, this is like my happy space, man. I like bringing a lot of different creatives in here, so I really appreciate y'all being in here today because it just pushes more good vibes, more creativity, and more positivity, and that's what I want to spread through not only this studio, but I want to make many more just like it.
Yeah, man. He been working on this studio, you know, a couple months right now. I mean, he do have some you know, basketball attire. I wish he had like a Miami Heat poster somewhere. I'm gonna have to order him one.
I like to cheer for teams that win.
Right.
I'm sorry, yeah. And the Lakers just like to put more. You know, I like rings and shiny things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So he's a huge Lakers fan. Huge Kobe fan. So let's just, you know, let's kick it off with some basketball. I know we always have a whole bunch of things. Let's kick it off with basketball. Since we already talking about Lakers, how do y'all feel about y'all new look Lakers? How y'all feel? I'll let you, Dennis, kick us off.
Okay. Yeah, man. So for me, honestly, just like I said, like to see old buddy. Now I'm blanking on the name for a second. Came in as a shooter just like I was expecting to see. We literally right before we started shooting, we got to watch them beat the Mavericks. So happy to see that. I don't know. I think it's gonna be we go to the playoffs, Lakers in 5. So I mean, but honestly though, I do see them being a good maybe a good play-in team. Possibly making it there. But even if we're looking into the future, maybe next season and stuff, I can definitely see a good momentum shift. They look like a good team. I mean, I'm not saying like we're going to kill the Nuggets or something right away, but as the way it's looking, it's definitely something to set us up because with us making these trades, we did get rid of a lot of draft picks, which could mess us up in the future. But if you already have those good pieces and good trading power, then we're going to be all right. You know, so I'm still very positive. You know, realistically, I don't know exactly how far they go. I don't know if I want to say NBA Finals, but maybe some semis if we can crack. If we can crack in, if we can get in.
Ain't no way.
Take your job, bro.
No way.
What my boy say at the Super Bowl? Huh?
No.
Come on now.
If we can get in the playoffs, if we can get in the playoffs, we can win a series.
Talk about Lakers right now.
I agree.
Oh,
I agree with that as well. But you talking about finals? I mean, yeah.
I think if we all start clicking on the right cylinders. I think with the right, if everybody starts clicking as we kind of are right now, D'Angelo's out, but when he is in the game, you got him dropping 20, you got Beasley dropping 20, You got AD and LeBron not even having to drop 15 and 12, and we up by 40. And I ain't saying, not granted, we're playing against injured Warriors. Steph Curry's not on the court. You know what I'm saying? So I get how that's not a complete one-to-one comparison, but that shows night and day who we are as a team. We did not win games when LeBron and AD were out. We just didn't. When they have off games, you might put an L up in the cap. Russ wasn't picking it back up for us. And if he was dropping the points, he was doubling it in turnovers.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, as a Lakers fan, as a fan of LA as a city, like, I love Russ. He does a lot for the city, great person. But he just had a lot of turnovers. As a Lakers fan, that's the only problem we had with Russ.
Hey, I'm so glad.
But I'm so happy he's not here anymore.
He didn't come to Miami. I told you last time, if he came to Miami, I would have been like a whole different person. Like, you wouldn't want to see me talk about Miami. Like, I would have took most of my stuff down until he was off the team. Like, that's how serious I was. And I was like, to me, like, the Clippers actually fit him better with his play style, nothing to relocate anywhere else. Like, to me, it did fit. And if they make it work with him come off the bench, I think they can be
if Russ can just figure out his turnover issue. And I haven't been watching him enough to see. It's kind of like he's playing timid. Like, he's not. It's kind of like, I was just watching Space Jam today. It's kind of like the Monstars are kind of taking some of his powers away, and now he's kind of scared to come back on the court. It's not like he forgot how to play basketball, but it's like he doesn't fully trust himself like he used to.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that. It's also, it comes to, like, he has 14 assists in the debut game he had, but at the same time he had seven turnovers. Yeah. So it's like, to me, like, it's like 7 assists.
Yeah, you don't even 7, less than 7. You get 7 turnovers, bro.
And
coaches are benching people at 4.
Facts. And we're not even talking about, like, the number of points off the turnover. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's so bad at this point where I was nervous for our team actually picking him up. Like, he could have gone into the offseason, like, not being on the team, how bad he was playing for the Lakers. Like he really was ruining his future. So, yeah, man. So y'all think y'all going to the semifinals as Lakers fans?
I say if we make it to the playoffs, we could.
I think us beating Dallas today shows exactly what Dallas is going to do in the West. They're 2 great ISO players who can score a lot of points together and won't win games.
They haven't won yet.
You feel me?
So.
No, they got one win.
And I love both of those as individuals. They got one together?
They got
one without. Luka wasn't playing that first game.
Oh,
you're talking about when Kyrie's first.
No. Yeah, they just got one. Yeah. They just got one a couple days ago.
Oh, well, there you go.
Never mind.
But I think I definitely could see us going to the finals. I'm a big fan of my team. Every year is a championship of us year. We're in LA. I'm a huge fan of D'Angelo.
You are.
When D'Angelo he was hooping. When he left LA and went to Brooklyn, he was hooping. People forget. I don't know why everybody acting like D'Angelo. No, this man was dropping 20, 25 a game. He went to the T-Wolves. They decided to make him second fiddle to Anthony, and he still was dropping 20. Like, all he needed was the space to hoop.
True.
And now he has it. Ron doesn't want him to play second fiddle. Coach doesn't want him to play scared, him to score. They record, and he's going to hoop.
Yeah. What's your take, Dennis, on D'Angelo? Because I got my own opinions on it.
Honestly, okay, so when he was younger, I didn't really like him as much. I mean, as a player, sure, but he was a little bit more immature. I think this D'Angelo that's back on the team is a different version. His game is a little bit more polished. He's a way better shooter. So overall, I like him. And I think he's gonna have a good future, especially with a good team like the Lakers.
No. I think D'Angelo Russell is a good, like, decent player, but as far as taking that step, like being that punch out really need in the Lakers, I don't really see it right now. I feel like he's gonna take a back seat when LeBron's on the court, unless he's like running like a second unit, which he might do that. I see him excelling in that, but with him and LeBron and AD, I feel like he's gonna take a back seat. And the reason I think he excelled in Brooklyn because one, they didn't have no expectations, and two, he really was the main go-to person. So when you like third or fourth go-to person on the Lakers, is like, and then your expectations are high. I don't know if he.
But at the same time, that's showing that he's been in those big pressure moments. He's been a clutch player. He can produce. So if LeBron and AD decide to have an off night, it's like, all right, cool, feed D'Angelo because he could have it. He could turn it on like that. I see him being that type of player for LA. And I also see LeBron doing what he does with every team. And the only reason he hasn't done it in LA is because he hasn't had the support. Is turn it off, shut down, and rest as we get ready to go into the playoffs. And I feel like if D'Angelo can prove that he can be the anchor that I feel like he can be, I feel like if he's that anchor for this team, then LeBron can shut down and get ready for playoffs. And that's why I think we can make a finals run. Because LeBron in the playoffs is just a different man.
Facts.
Right.
That's why
that's what I'm saying.
So hard.
That's what I'm saying. If we make it to the playoffs, LeBron is going to be playoff LeBron. That's what I'm saying.
You can count on about 35 points a game.
What happened last time you had playoff LeBron? Who kicked y'all out? The Suns, wasn't it? Or wasn't he hurt? AD was hurt. Something like, to me, he's getting these like ticky-tack little injuries where it's like, it's not taking him down like it's like somebody else, but it's like those little ankle injuries or groin areas, injuries is like, it's taking off like a week, but a week is so crucial in the playoffs.
That's true. Yeah.
Some other problem is going to rise. And then with AD being so damn unpredictable, I really don't know, like injury-wise. So
the way I see it is if everybody stays healthy, this team is the bubble team plus the biggest name that it's seen since the bubble team. This team has only gotten stronger. And the bubble team was good enough to win a ring. So I feel like if they're healthy and you've gotten I don't care what anybody says, D'Angelo Russell is a big name. And you add a big name to that pool, it's definitely somebody to reckon with. Now, if Steph Curry decides to stop being injured and go back to B, it's scary. I'm still wondering how the Suns. I haven't seen any games with them.
Yeah.
Has KD played yet?
KD hasn't came back yet. They just had a game they played against the Bucks today, and they lost by like 5. It was a real close game. So, to me, with KD, they're gonna start winning those easy. Like the games they're losing by like 4 or 5, I feel like they're gonna easily win with KD on the court. So
I'm just interested to see how they fit in their offense with D-Book playing more like an ISO ball. CP3 being a distributor, but like what role will KD play in there? Like, will he be switching between the two just as a spot up and going ISO from time to time as well? Or will he become the key scorer for that team over Devin Booker?
That's a good one. I don't know.
Yeah,
Suns,
that's the team I'm afraid of. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I was saying the Suns. Yeah. Who?
My bad. Do you think the Suns will be the team coming out of the West then? Or like at least in the finals, in the conference finals?
Western Conference Finals.
Everybody healthy? Everybody healthy? Everybody healthy? Yes. The Suns are the boogeyman right now. Like,
definitely. But I'd also like to say there's a little David in the West that nobody likes to talk about like that because it's just some kids and they're just having fun. The Kings are hooping right now, bro.
Dude,
the Kings are hooping.
We was just talking about them.
Who's doing that?
Yeah.
175 in one game?
Against the Clippers.
But I don't know if they're I don't know about the Clippers. The Clippers are like the team that were always supposed to do something but never will. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, they're the perfect marriage of players who were always supposed to do something and never did. And I love that Russ is there too. Another player who was supposed to do something,
mixing the pot,
but never did. It's just a stack up of people.
Man, yes, nail on the head. Nail on. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, no.
we were just
don't get me started on the Clippers.
Kings,
yeah, we were just talking about the Kings, like how good they, like how good they're looking. Just young kids, they don't care about nothing. I love it. And then of course, like you said, like we were saying, against the fast team against the Clippers, and we were kind of wondering how Russ would do, and like you said, 7 turnovers against them, against a fast moving team like that. They get a steal, that's 2 or 3 quick. Like,
yep.
Yeah, nah. That team is scary, and I think they're third. They're third in the West right now.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I have them like a sneaky, like if they get in there, I don't see them going deep because they just don't have the playoff experience. But they are sneaky, like they're gonna be like tough team to beat the Sacramento Kings. But I still got Nuggets and Suns kind of up there in my conference finals. I had Clippers for the longest. That's when John Wall
you did say that,
like his old self. So I'm like, but now I'm kind of, especially with Westbrook, I'm kind of like,
I feel bad for John Wall having to go back to Houston.
Yeah, man. We had talked about that. We was like,
that man fought so hard to get out of Houston, man. He said, please. Anywhere but Houston.
Anywhere.
They haven't even talked about his buyout yet. I don't know.
Yeah, he's still not playing or doing anything.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to be playing in Houston.
Or sitting on the bench in Houston.
But yeah.
He can always hit a man target. I want to get out of this thing. Put on the pen.
Man.
All right.
But yeah.
So the next topic, man. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go, next topic.
All right. So the next topic we're gonna move in. I know Julius is a huge Kobe fan.
Sure. Kobe fanatic. The reason I'm a big Lakers fan isn't like a real deep story. It's kind of just real surface level, man. I was a kid growing up. I was born in 95. So by the time I really started understanding stuff, 5, 6, 4, Kobe was up. LA was up, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's Showtime. You had Kobe, you had Shaq, and that was when they were winning their 3 rings back to back to back, 2000, 2001, 2002. Mm-hmm. So that was like really my biggest influence into loving Kobe. Like, it's a young, raw player. I'm the youngest sibling. You know what I'm saying? The way the league looked at Kobe at that time wasn't the GOAT, but Kobe saw himself as the GOAT. They saw him just as a young kid, you know what I'm saying, a young, hard-headed person. That's kind of like, yay, I'm a little bit of a Kanye fan, besides the other stuff he be doing. But Kobe was like, you know what I'm saying, that raw talent type of guy. All he wants to do is come in and work. And he always seemed like the younger sibling. Then as he grew into the league, into being the GOAT, becoming more established, becoming more regal, he wasn't the player who had to come out and yell at everybody and do all this crying on the floor. He just played with his skill. He didn't talk. He didn't have to come to press conference, all that gabbing. And it was like a different game of basketball that back then. Like we talked about, it was a game where people didn't just look at basketball as a job. They looked at it as like a way of life. Like, I don't fuck with the Celtics, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like back then, it was no love, no dapping each other up, none of that.
That's real, man.
There wasn't no friendships, but that's kind of like why I love Kobe. He had that edge about him, but it wasn't out of hatred or out of real dislike. It was because that's what this is. That's business over there. When we get outside, we can hang out, we can have business ventures, but right here, I'm another person. I'm the Mamba.
Yeah.
Man, so yeah, that's why I'm a big Kobe Lakers fan, man. Rest in peace to my guy.
Yeah, R.I.P. Dennis, you got a story? How did you get into Kobe? I don't know if you told us yet.
Well, so for me, I guess I am a little older. So born in 91. So growing up, my dad was like a big his San Antonio Spurs fan. So we would watch a lot of West Coast games and stuff like that. And I remember like like I said, like once I finally started getting old enough to actually pay attention and know what's going on, actually I remember the first game that I watched where I was like, okay, this guy. It was a game against the Sacramento Kings, and we were at my cousin Ked's house, and I just remember seeing him going off, and I just seen number 8 with the nappy afro. He dark skinned, he's dunking on people, scoring, little post up, turn around from the elbow, and I'm just like, who is that? Whoever that dude is, that's I'm following. Oh, I was like, Bryant, okay, him. Yeah, I'm following Kobe Bryant till the wheels fall off. I don't know why, but that one game against the Kings where he was fucking up Chris Webber and Peja Stojakovic, all them. They was just getting buckets. Yeah. He was getting buckets on them, and I was like, this guy. Also, I hate the Kings. It's like I don't know why that happened on that same time. Like, man, but yeah, nah. I don't know why. It was just a close game. They were just riding back and forth. It was because back then it was a lot of hard fouls and like because he's scoring, but then you start seeing the elbows. When it was Kings versus Lakers, it was the same as it feels between like Celtics and Lakers. In the West, it was basically the same back then because like people thought that the Kings were supposed to be it. And there's even like
they weren't supposed to be that guy.
Yeah, and there was even debatable like playoff series where people thought that like the refs were cheating for the Lakers against the Kings. So it's a whole lot of animosity and bad blood between them, and it was crazy. But yeah, man, I've been a Kobe fan ever since, what was that, 97, 98? Yeah, somewhere around there.
Man. Yeah, I think people become a fan of like players who they first see on TV going crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you also with a family that's like you grew up in your family like you said, San Antonio, like your dad watched San Antonio.
So you become a Spurs
fan.
Yeah.
Sometimes you in a sports family and you become a fan because of that. So, because like me, that's the same reason I'm like not a Kobe fan because I didn't see him first. The first person I saw was Wade and LeBron, and those are the people I gravitated to. So, but I always respect Kobe. I just the way y'all talk about him is kind of the reason I don't like because it comes off cocky, but he's not cocky. It's just the way I took it at the time.
It's not coming off cocky. It's coming off as confident.
Well,
facts.
Yes, confident. That and
because we know
that and with Kobe, like he said,
but
like he said with Kobe, he was like he didn't say too much, even to his own teammates. He would just lock in, straight face, get buckets, and just be like, "Job's finished. Job's not finished. Not done. Okay." Like, and even in the doc that we talked about, he led by example. So he would show you how to do it without having to say, "Hey, man, here's what you do." Blah blah blah. No, watch me. I'm in the gym at 4:30, practice ain't till 6. And then after practice is over at 8, I'm still in here for a couple more hours, leading by example. And that kind of like, it helps you even off the court. If you want to do something in life, you have to put in that extra work. You have to almost be obsessed with your craft to become good at it. And that's just kind of the Mamba mentality that kind of helps even in other aspects of life. So.
Yeah. That kind of brought up something to me. Okay, so with the Mamba mentality, do y'all see, is that something that should stay with Kobe, or is that something passed down? Like we see players now that have that Mamba mentality, or is like only really Kobe really had that?
Nah, Jordan had that first. For sure. We're not going. I'm a huge Kobe fan, but I will pay homage. Jordan had that first. Mm-hmm. The first. Well, I won't say the first, but like one of the few people. But Bird had it. Don't let me get into how much I love Larry Bird. But like there's certain people who just say, "Give me the ball, get out the way." You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's not a lot of people who do that anymore. Like, and that's why people tried to take that away from LeBron, even though he's making the higher IQ basketball play. And sometimes now he'll just take over. But those guys just used to say, "I don't need it. I don't need anything. I don't need a screen. I don't care if the whole team is following me. Just give me the ball. I got this. And that, I don't know if it has to follow basketball anymore, because what we praise in basketball isn't that anymore. And we're getting further and further away from that nitty-gritty basketball. I know I prefer that style of basketball, but that's not what the world prefers. And if the world did prefer, that's what they'd be putting on the TV. So
that's real. I think Mamba mentality was kind of like I somewhat agree that it did kind of start with like a Jordan, but I think Kobe kind of had like an elevation to it, because I don't know, like, to me, as much as I respect Jordan, and I won't get mad if someone says that he's the greatest, because if you watch those games live, he looks like that. But to me, he was more of an arrogant, and I don't know, he had other problems. But I think for Kobe and the Mamba mentality, it, like I said before, it kind of goes with like off the court things, like, or not in the game, I guess I would say. It's like the obsession of the game and and making your craft better. So you could use Mamba mentality at, I don't know, your job at Kinko's or like starting a business or whatever, like putting in that extra work, taking care of your family or something like that. It's just like the extra obsession with wanting to always get better and stuff like that. So it's almost like a symbol of hope. Like anybody could have the S on their chest. It doesn't actually mean like Superman. It's like hope or whatever. So like Mamba mentality will be here long after he's here. You'll see it with the Jason Tatums, or you could see it with like an actor or a writer or whoever, just in how they are with their craft.
Got to put an asterisk by the Jason Tatum. I think he's great, but he did text Kobe, "I got you," and he did not have Kobe. I don't appreciate that.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. Okay. That was okay. I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of weird.
He's like, we got to hold on. That one.
Yeah. That was kind of. I would use that as like an example, but like, or just like a name or whatever. But because I like the way he plays.
In the post-it, I was like,
Yeah. But that was wild. That was wild. Okay, so first off, I don't know. I've lost people close to me, but not once have I thought, man, I'm gonna shoot them a text. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not shooting my dead cousin, grandma, whatever. Hey, I got this for you today, Granny. Like,
if I'm doing it, I'm not posting it. Or if I'm posting it, it's after I got them. Like
it's kind of a cringe-worthy type.
Yeah, man. It's just like,
yeah.
Like, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact, Jason Tatum's I think his granddad is like the not like but he is the hallmark of Kappa Alpha Psi right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
Okay.
All right, man. We talked about, you said something about greatest. Jordan. I don't know we want to go on the GOAT debate, but it's a topic
Okay.
I got to bring to the table. Julius has brought this up multiple times, so I'm going to let him give his little spiel. We're going to chop it up. I want to hear your thoughts on it as well. We ain't got to go super into it if you don't want to, but it's kind of, I want to put it out there and open for y'all to hear first. And y'all
go ahead. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, man. So it's kind of like his take on Steph Curry, giving him his flowers right now. So
it's not giving him his flowers.
It's giving him his flowers.
It is what it is. The biggest Kobe fan right here, and Steph Curry's the GOAT. Statistically, and by how he changed the game. Steph Curry just is that, hands down. We can go through the numbers and we can talk about this because everybody wants to go Steph Curry's the greatest shooter of all time. I have my computer here. I have my stats ready. I'm not playing. We can run this down and you are going to be mind-boggled by how much better Steph Curry is than the average Bear. I got numbers. That's all I got. Okay. All I got is numbers. If you don't like numbers, then that's fine.
Wait.
What's your thought, Dennis?
Okay. So first off, and I know there's somewhat of a delay, everyone. I'm just let y'all know. That's why it's kind of like this. But are you saying he's the GOAT basketball player? Like out of all the basketball players that have played NBA, Steph Curry is the greatest. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. He has single-handedly changed the game more than anybody else.
No.
Easily. Who do you feel like has changed the game more than Steph? Let's talk about it.
Okay, first off, okay, so to be the greatest, especially in a game that is okay, so in basketball, it's different from a lot of other sports because you play both sides of the ball simultaneously, right? Right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is just because of, you can blame genetics, you can blame God, you can blame whoever, whatever. He is not big enough to be that, and I know sucks as you can't help that, but okay, so can he guard anybody? No. Does he lead the league in rebounding? What about steals? What about blocks? Shooting, yes. Hands down, one of the best shooters. Not one. Consistently?
2016.
And so it's like, no, I'm just like, okay, so like the greatest shooter of all time, for sure.
And this is what the problem is.
The greatest shooter, hands down.
See, I think it's tough. I think it's really tough for us to
hold on. Stop. Name your best shooters of all time.
Okay. Well, and this is almost another thing because of, like you said, and he did revolutionize the game. Yes. Or he did take it to a whole nother level, because now we shoot, or not we, I'm sitting at home, but they shoot at a higher volume. You know, so I would say that a Bird or a Miller or even a Ray Allen could maybe be considered better shooters, but or I'd even say a Paul Pierce. But the thing is, they did not shoot the three as much as they do today. So now,
why did they not shoot the three as much?
Because the game wasn't like that back then.
The game wasn't like that back then because people wasn't doing it like that today. As Steph Curry came into the league and got more minutes, there's a perfect correlation between Steph Curry getting more minutes and the league shooting more threes. And as Steph Curry's success increased, the league's amount of threes taken increased. And now you see a lot of these kids, not a lot, all of these kids in AAU basketball shooting from behind the line or further back. Yeah, LaMelo might have got people, Jimma might have got people to shoot from further back. But the real reason why everybody's shooting the three today ain't because of Reggie Miller, ain't because of Ray Allen. Those people played 1,300 games and still have 1,000 less threes than Steph Curry. They're not on the same page. He's not the greatest.
That's what I'm saying.
The greatest shooter. The greatest shooter is like, oh, he kind of climbed up the ladder. He kind of passed. No, that man is up to the roof. Those guys are on the ground compared to him. He's not the greatest shooter. He's not even in that category. Why are we putting him in a bubble with people that average 19 points per game or less when he's averaging 25, which is around what Kobe and Jordan averaged? Come on, stop playing with me, man.
Well, okay. I'll even put him as one of the greatest scorers. Because if we're talking about that, he can be one of the greatest scorers.
Okay,
I'll give you that. But all around better player.
No, I wouldn't say. All right, I'm going to be a real.
Because if we're saying GOAT,
no. So the reason why
you said GOAT.
No. The reason why I'm saying GOAT, even though he's not all around best player, his impact on basketball to me is the biggest that anybody has ever had. Like
I'll give you culture GOAT, I guess. NBA culture GOAT, sure.
Not even NBA, just basketball.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you basketball cultural GOAT. But if we're talking, if there's a game like for the world,
skill on the court. No, I'm not saying I'm picking Steph Curry. Yes. No, but definitely just impact on the game. He has 4 rings. He has MVP, his league MVPs. He has a final MVP. He has He has all the accolades. You know what I'm saying? He has the stats. He shifted the league into playing more like him. People have said, fuck it, we can't play like us no more. We got to play like you. You got that. You got it.
Right. No. And see, and I'll give you that. Like, and here's the thing. Me saying that Steph, I cannot call him the GOAT, is not saying that he's not a phenomenal player, something that we have never seen. Because I say it almost every week. This dude is a superhero. This dude has some type of, he does not play like a human, but he is a liability to where okay, so let's say we play King of the Court. Who is he stopping if he doesn't get the ball first?
Yeah.
If he doesn't get the ball first against, I don't know, I won't even say one of the top 5. I'll say if he doesn't get the ball first against Jaylen Brown, who wins? And we're playing make it, take it.
That's real.
It's tough. And then also,
so how can you be the GOAT?
But you got to look at it at the other side too.
It's really who get the ball first in that situation.
Yeah, with Steph Curry, it's whoever gets the ball first, really.
But they have the length, they have the defense to still get in his face and try to stop. There's a higher chance of someone stopping him.
Do people being in Steph Curry's face matter?
Yeah, he gonna splash.
He's going.
So it don't really matter who.
Yeah,
he could do it off the dribble. He could do it spot up. He could do it turned around, blindfolded, throwing it away while he's running to the tunnel to go say what's up to his daughter. The kid is magic, man.
Okay,
yeah, I'll give him that. But
so would you put Steph Curry in your top 5 GOAT, top 10, or
I would. That man's crazy.
Or how would you currently rank him? We ain't got to go through your whole list, but just currently top 5, top 10. What you thinking?
Oof. Okay. On the spot list, and I know this may sound Laker biased, but come on now. Think about this. No, okay, so think about this. Jordan, Kobe, and this may not be in order because I'm just spitballing names.
That's cool.
Right.
Jordan, Kobe, Kareem, Magic, Shaq.
Hey, Lakers, Lakers great.
I don't blame you on that.
Right.
I don't blame you on that.
It's still a tough list.
Okay, so if I take Shaq out, moving to 6, that's LeBron right there.
Yeah, for sure.
You ain't got LeBron already? Oh.
No, because he named the Lakers. Remember the 4 Lakers?
No.
LeBron should be in the top 5 off real.
In the Lakers.
Look. Jordan, Magic, Kareem, Kobe. Sure, LeBron.
Okay, why you got LeBron over? Why you got Magic over LeBron?
No order. No order right now. No order right now. That could be a whole other thing.
But he just put LeBron in there. That's what I'm saying. But
yeah. That's a
5 is 50.
Well, okay. So LeBron has an asterisk because the way he treats kids his rookie season is horrible.
Bro, let that go.
Bro, yeah.
No.
Hey, bro, I heard the story about that. You gotta move on.
No, you want a public apology from LeBron James.
Look, wait.
He want.
Yo, that video did 65K just about. So he's seen it.
Yeah.
He looked at it and said, and I'm still staying, keep him away from me.
Now I gotta stay even
It'd be
further.
wild if he came and said, I actually remember them, and I really didn't like them at that time.
I don't want to see them kids.
He really remembered them a long time ago, but still.
That was you?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
The short kid with the Shaq jersey. Yes. Fuck him. Yo,
Man. All right. Go back to your list for the GOAT, though, for Curry. So, you're not in your top 5.
I might, 6 through 10. I don't know, man. He could be, if I make a cultural impact list, he's probably up there.
No, this is great. I'm talking
Just
about
go
NBA.
basketball.
NBA. Not no culture, nothing.
All right, so I'm already in that 5. Man. Yeah, he could be in that 6 to 10. He could be in that 6 to 10. I give him that because what he's done has been phenomenal, honestly. Like I said, yes, he's something we've never seen before. He's a whole different type of specimen. Like it's crazy because the thing is, he still has a lot more years. So his 3-point record is going to get blasted. Like his 3-point record is going crazy. He may end up getting another couple rings.
In 800 games, he is at 3,300 threes. Ray Allen in 1,300 games is at 2,900.
Yes, but how many? Like, also you got to go with coaching because you got to think like, okay, so a lot of players that we don't look at as 3-point shooters can really shoot, and can shoot consistently. But the way a lot of coaches say, no, I need you out there on the right block, or no, I need you to do this more. Like,
that's right.
Coaching can change up the whole system. So if we don't even shoot that many threes a game, or if we don't even have the green light to do that, then no, I'm not going to look at you like that. Luckily, he has the coaching in a Mark Jackson or a Steve Kerr that says, shoot that thing 25 times a night from 30 feet out. Who says that?
No, but that's what Jamal and I were also talking about. And Dwight Howard talked about it on the podcast as well. When everybody was saying, like, Dwight, you this big, you just can't hoop no more. What happened to you? Why you not getting these points? And it's like, I'm out there for 4 minutes, guys. It's 1 minute in the first quarter, 2 minutes in the second, and 1 minute in the fourth. Yeah, it looks like I played 4 minutes and got 0 points, but really I was just touching the bench and coming in. Like I was coming in just to say hello. So I mean, like, and to your point, there are who else said that? Was it J.R. Smith or Iman Shumpert? One of the two said in the interview too. There's a lot of guys in the league that can hoop. Nick Young says he's the greatest one-on-one player on earth. But they don't get the touches, they don't get the minutes because the team isn't focused to funnel through them.
Yeah, that was a man that said that because he was saying like he was like when he was in the Knicks system and stuff like that, like he just up there was 5 seconds. Like you got 2 seconds, you can either pass it, get a turnover, or you got to chug up a shot. So it's like you really don't have a fair opportunity, which sucks because also if you playing for a contract or something like that, like they look at your stats for some,
That's right.
And sometimes stats.
So if we're just looking at stats,
it looks like he was out there for 30 minutes, but you went from 2 for 12, and you only shot threes. Like why you didn't dribble? Like you don't even have time to make a dribble. So it's like it kind of messed up a lot of players. And like if we was to look back and see like all the players that have been like mistreated because of that reason, because right now it's a NBA player focused league. So all the top players we all kind of focus on. Yeah. Like the people on the bench and role players, we understand makes up the championship team. But at the same time, we like, okay, he getting paid enough. But we never think about like, oh, he really could be a star on another team if he had the opportunity.
I mean, it's just the same story as James Harden coming out. It's the same story as everybody hates to hear D'Angelo Russell coming out. These different players, Julius Randle coming out. Even Brandon Ingram coming out. So many different players that the Lakers let go away that could have been hooping. But anywho, but seriously though, like
y'all draft well.
It's shut up. We know what we're doing. We just gonna hold on to it. I've always, I'm sorry, I don't want to go on this tangent too long, but I've always felt that way about LA. I feel like we get great young talent and we just felt, nah. Like when we had Shannon Brown and we used to call like the Lakers, like I think they called them like the Bumblebees because we had like a lot of young kids who like to bounce and dunk. Matthew, there's a Matthew, I can't think of the last name. But yeah, we had a solid young team and we just keep on ripping out that core and throwing them across the league. And then you look at them 5-10 years later and they hooping.
Right. And then y'all try to get them back. I've seen that so many times because y'all had like a Wayne Ellington. He was hooping a 3-point, specialist. Y'all were trying to get him back. Y'all got him back. It didn't work. When people pair with LeBron, it seemed like they just lose their whole ability to do anything on the basketball court. But y'all was also talking about getting Lonzo Ball back when he was hooping in Chicago. Now he injured, but y'all like.
It's like, why don't we just hold on to
it?
Just hold on to your core and grow. Or we're just scared of growing organically. We're championship or bust, and that's what it is.
You guys are.
Right. We're not allowed to have rebuilding years, because then it's all the hate and all the blah blah blah. How come they aren't in the playoffs? Okay, but when we watched the Cavaliers do it, it was fine. When we watched the Warriors, because the Warriors weren't always the Warriors that we see today.
Right.
It was fine. But for the Lakers, like you said, if we ain't fourth, third seed, we suck.
Yep. And everybody hates us. Yeah. Also, fun fact, Steph Curry has a better record in the finals than LeBron.
Okay, so I got for Curry, I got him in the 6 to 10 as well. I don't have him in my top 5. But I do feel like this past championship that he got really put me, like, solidified my list of him being in the 6 to 10, because he got one. Because a lot of the rings, especially for Durant ring, is really like frowned upon for him. That's why he's trying so hard to get another one without Curry. But to say you had a ring before Durant and after, like, to me, those two are so superior in ring quality. If you want to rank rings, which a ring is a ring, but still.
Since you're speaking on Durant being over there, LeBron played basketball with more Hall of Famers than Steph Curry.
Yeah, but like that doesn't tell all the story. That doesn't tell all the story, because you can say LeBron played with the best center ever. We can say that if that's how you want to. He played one of the best centers ever.
No. I'm saying viable. Even
but
if you say healthy,
old.
Even if you're saying healthy young age players, it's still LeBron. We could just go with Kyrie, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, and that's more than Steph has ever played with.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I mean, and also, like, here's the thing. Here's the biggest thing, man. Like, listen, I'll say, like I said, he's still superhero level, like superhuman level, but go. If we put him in a time machine and they played one-on-one against this player, could he be better than a Kareem? Could he be better than Jordan? Could he be better than Magic? The only reason why we're not talking about Magic like this is because of AIDS. If he didn't have to leave the league, his assists would be way higher, his points would be way higher, all that. Like, he'd have more championships, but AIDS or HIV, because I don't think he actually got the full AIDS. But come on now.
That's out of pocket, bro.
Wow, yo.
Hey,
I like to also take.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I like to also take this time, since I'm shouting out players whose stats are things that people should look at. Larry Bird is another player whose stats everybody likes to pair in with greatest shooter of all time, but he's putting up points like GOATs put up. Last season, who knows if Larry played longer, if Larry felt the need to compete harder, because remember, he said he stopped hooping only because Magic was stopped hooping.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. No, man. It really, like, I think for me, and if that happens, I think Bird is in my top 5. But because of that, Bird is in my 6 to 10, and I know that I'm putting him before I put Steph Curry.
I like Larry Bird over Steph Curry. Because
overall player,
when you take that GOAT player discussion that you were talking about, where you take him playing against somebody from a different time, Larry Bird will stand the test of time. His height, his defense was just as good as him dropping points, and he was a physical player. He would go to the hole. Who knows what Larry Bird will look like in 2021, man? Oh my goodness,
man! Exactly. Ooh. I think
not 2023, because people aren't going to the hole like that right now. 2020, 20, like, bubble, that's when we stop, doing the paint for real.
Yeah, he probably has 40 right now. Him, Jordan, like all those people that can just...
He's a better Luka. He would have been a better Luka.
I feel like I'd call him a more fluent Dirk.
Okay. Dirk with better knees.
A Dirk that can run.
Right.
I wouldn't put him at Luka because I think Larry was a great passer, but Luka got something going on, man. It's like him, LeBron, and Magic just in a league of their own when it comes to passing. It's just something about that big body, like point guard with the passing. It's just something about that range.
I don't know, man.
It's just like
I know LeBron got the quantity and assists, but I just feel like because LeBron scores so much, people get drawn away from him defensively, creating holes, which isn't taken away from who he is. Mm-hmm. He's still a great passer. He still has the best vision ever in basketball. But I feel like it's not as much of a LeBron making a stunning pass as it is LeBron creating a defensive pull on the court. He's causing the pressure to shift towards him.
I mean, I mean, I can see that way.
But you don't but I can't say that you don't get to be top 10, top 5 in assists just by that. So I can't take it away from him still.
All right.
All right.
And I mean,
so, okay. If I drop in, okay, so we didn't talk about this at all, but like now that we thinking about it, and I'm kind of thinking, so end of his career with the trajectory that he's going right now, where does that put Luka in this GOAT talk? Or not Luka? Where does this put Giannis in that GOAT talk?
How many rings does he have?
He only got one.
Yeah, it doesn't put him in the GOAT talk.
Okay, better player. Who's stopping him? Okay. Because if we talking like that, then we get to say, yo, Robert Horry, GOAT. Who else? Bill Russell, GOAT. You talking rings?
Hold on. First off, Big Six guy, and he a Nuke. Shout out to the Nukes. Whatchamacallit? When I say GOAT, I'm thinking there's not like you have to have the most rings, but you got to have at least 3 rings. That's kind of like I see him getting more than.
I see him leaving with like 4. I see Giannis leaving the league with at least 4 rings.
I don't know.
Yeah, I see. I mean, this year
really like non-biased.
So I say he gonna have at least 3. I don't know about 4. I say 3, but if he get 3, and chop up some more MVPs, like you really can put him up there in top 10. I can't put him top 5 though.
He has to start shooting. He has. If he starts shooting, then it's like holy. Okay, top 5.
Hold on.
Sure.
But he's still getting 50 a game. He's still getting 50.
So we're gonna look at Giannis.
He's still getting 50, but it's just like LeBron. That's kind of what we kind of came to be like. That's what made me I had to put my guns down. I used to hate LeBron, especially before he came to LA. But like, hey, I feel you, brother. I'm a Lakers fan first. LeBron is cool. I'm glad he brought us that 1 ring. But
if y'all ain't want the ring, I don't know. I gotta talk about this. Lakers talk about this 1 ring like it ain't nothing, like because y'all got 17. But
it was in a bubble.
If Miami would have,
it was a quarter of the season.
That would be. You know how much like precious that ring would be to a fan. But with the Lakers, y'all just be like, we got another one. LeBron West to the next one.
No,
it's like on to the next one already. I'm like, if y'all don't want it, just give it back to us. Give it to us.
No, listen. I count every ring because lots of other players count all the rings from the beginning of the NBA. So if we count all the racism rings, then we get to count the bubble ring. Like,
you talk about the ABA?
ABA, yeah. I'm about to if we get to basketball.
If we get to count 60s and 70s rings, like, hey, I'm counting the bubble.
Nah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's the only
same way the Celtics count all their rings, and most of their rings came from before they let us in the league. So when Bill Russell couldn't even sleep in the same hotels as his teammates, but
right. Bang, champion.
So if we count those rings, I'm counting the bubble.
But for me, that's just like kind of like my baseline criteria. So if Giannis were to get his, I still feel you on he's dropping 50 every night. LeBron was dropping 30. Well, I won't say no, he was dropping 30 back then too, when he was just going to the hole and dunking the ball. Yeah. So it's just beautiful to see a great player go, I'm so good, I can do everything good. I don't have to just go to the hole. Like it's something about having a bag, and that's kind of like why Jordan was a great. That's why everybody looks at Kobe as a great, because they had a bag. You know, Hakeem Olajuwon, all those big centers who had that footwork, who had something special, not just my one move that I could go to. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to see more out of Giannis, because his footwork bag is getting close to the hole, is getting a little bit better. You see him do a few Euro steps, a few spins here and there off the block. He's looking good down there, but I just want to see something new. I want to see him hit a three. I want to see him start posting up and shooting fadeaways. I don't know. and I don't say it's impossible, because Joel Embiid does it. That's all just as big as him.
That's all I was about to say. He's
been shooting a little more. He's been shooting a little more.
He's trying.
So, I mean, you got to point to that. I mean, I can see him getting better. I'm just saying, like, you know, end of his career with him, he's definitely a person, and it sounds crazy to even, like, bring that into it, because I'm not saying that he's the Goku of the league, but, like, he has, like, a Goku where he, like, where he keeps getting better. He keeps, like, yo, I'm the best at this, but I can always do more. Like, Giannis, he keeps getting stronger and bigger, but then also he's starting to shoot more now. When we like, yo, you honestly don't have to at your position and at your thing. So he's doing that. He is. He keeps getting better and better. So I think that he's a player that we should, I don't know, keep our eye on. I mean, that's not really a hot take, but I think he cracked.
Doing next year, he might be a champion.
Right, that's not a hot take at all. Like this dude, right now, probably the best player in the league right now.
That's the closest thing to Mamba mentality that you have in the NBA right now. By far. There's no maybe something. No, that is a kid who goes and works, bro. Like you said, he's already trying to expand his game. He knows what he's doing is working, but he's trying to prepare for longevity.
Yeah. He ain't gonna be able to shoot. I don't know what he can prepare all he wants to. His mechanics, the way it looks, it just doesn't look like. And that's why it's tough, because if you don't come in the league being like good in mechanics and shooting, it's really hard to create a jump shot and sustain it the rest of your career. We really haven't seen anybody like that. Like even
pick one up halfway through their career.
Like LeBron right now, he changed his jump shot form like every 2 years. Like, and it still doesn't look consistently good. I think Westbrook trying to change his jump shot. There's a couple people that changes the jump shot, but if they don't come in having a decent mechanic, that's why I just don't see Giannis being able to shoot. So I'm like, to me, I'm judging him like how he is now, because this will be the same way he'll be playing, 5-10 years from now. The only thing is it'll just be less points and less contacts in the paint. That's the only thing, because Joel Embiid had a shot when he came in. So there's the issue. He didn't have to yes, you develop your shot a little bit more, but at the same time, he already had that mechanic.
No, for sure.
And shooting is memory. That's why Ben Simmons don't have it, because he never shot, so he could never.
What does that have to do with layups?
Hey, I don't know about the layups, but
okay.
Shooting.
What this man smoking layups. Like what?
I don't know about that,
man. I wasn't good.
You are 7 feet tall. You are 7 feet tall. You smoke a layup.
I wasn't good at basketball in high school, and even if I caught the ball underneath the hole and everybody else is running down the court, I would even at least attempt to put it up. But this
he can do the little 2-hand for safety layup. 2-hand for safety. Boom.
Or pump fake, and then look back and then go up. Like it's.
Yeah.
You know what?
That man
yes, like you just said.
Pass.
No, like Jamal just said. First off, you are 7 feet damn tall.
Exactly.
Dunk it. Dunk the ball.
That's your mentality when you're in the paint. Like just dunk it.
That's another player that I feel like the Monstars came and touched with the basketball.
Oh, for sure. Something's up.
I don't.
He hit that same Patrick Ewing, you know what I'm saying, from Space Jam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Russell Westbrook yelling on the bench like Charles Barkley, I'm fine.
Oh, man.
I don't know what's up with those guys, because it's like you go back and look at highlights of who these people were. You go back and look at the triple dub Russ, and back then he wasn't having like hot turnovers like that, and he was doing it. People were saying it was forced. Well, forced or not, it's very hard to do. Very hard to do consistently. it just started becoming a thing. Everybody get doubles. I remember where you started with, it was just rare to hear somebody, hey, you heard double that? Oh, snap.
Man.
Then what? I feel like Russ normalized the triple double, and to be able to do that is great.
And it's so crazy right now because Jokic is kind of leading away for MP, and right now one of the things they're talking about is he's
triple double.
He's Mr. Triple Double, and it's like
if he's Mr. Triple Double, Russell is King Triple Double.
For real, yeah.
Russell Westbrook.
I'm like, that's one of the biggest things they're bringing up, and that's one of the things that's edging him above Joel Embiid. It's like, well, he is getting a triple double, but we were like, the triple double, it's kind of watered down. Basically, it's not that used to be the same. And then a lot of people are not playing like defense as much, so the rebounds is like whoever wants to really go rebound. It's not. But most part, I'm like, it ain't nothing. Like you getting oops, stuff like that. It's so. I just cannot.
I just don't appreciate them saying that's greatness now when Russell Westbrook didn't get that love.
Yeah, he got it that first year. That first year, he went. The league went crazy with the triple double.
That's true because we was all shocked.
That second one, we was like,
maybe it is easy.
That third one,
nobody cared.
You couldn't find a station talking about that triple double.
And that's crazy. That's crazy that it's like that. Yeah. Because he normalized it so much. So I guess, shoot, I mean, would that mean that Oscar Robinson or something would still? I mean, we didn't talk about him because, like, I guess, like, since you go so hard into stats and all that, so with those same circumstances, that means we'd almost have to hold Oscar Robinson higher than Jokic or Russell because shoot, he was shorter than them. And he was doing that when people was getting punched in the face. We didn't think about it. And that was that civil rights era.
He couldn't even sleep at the Hampton.
He had to go sleep in Barnes and then go get a triple double. So
you definitely got to put him up there. I don't put him up there above Russ and like Jokic, but you know he's still up there as one of those top players. I mean, I think he got voted in the top 75. I feel like that's appropriate. So it's not like he's overlooked. It's just like he's just not brought up as much. Like once Westbrook once he did it for 3 years about triple doubles, like you really rarely hear anything about triple doubles and Oscar Robertson. Like that's not tied to him anymore. It's really tied with Russ right now. So it's kind of the same thing what's going on right now. What's going to happen with Kareem and LeBron with scoring. Like we talked about Kareem a little bit when he was like always all-time scoring leader, but now that he lapped him, like we rarely gonna talk about number 2 anymore.
Yeah, we're
like,
not gonna talk about Kareem.
It's gonna be LeBron was the all-time scoring leader, and he passed him in 2023, and that's pretty much the sentence that will have Kareem name in it. But it's kind of the same.
I think the only thing that saves Kareem, I think the only thing that kind of saves Kareem is his dominance, and how he kind of also had his hook shot that kind of changed the game for a while, and his rings, because like you said, that those all like play individual parts all together. So you have to have like a combination of all of them, I think, which is why I think you're able to talk about Steph the way you did. Because if he doesn't have the 4 rings, then you don't say it like that. Or if he doesn't revolutionize stuff like that or his stats, it has to be a combination of all of them. But yeah.
But the only reason why I wouldn't talk about Hakeem as much is because like we got to look at a lot of these things. Like we don't talk about a lot of these stats because we don't see anybody getting close to breaking them. And when we start seeing people get close to breaking them is when we start realizing what they are again. Nobody was thinking about the triple-double when we were in high school like that. Nobody was thinking about who holds the triple-double record because it was like, it's some godforsaken number nobody's ever going to get close to in our lifetime. Haha. Right. You know what I'm saying? We didn't used to talk points like that. That wasn't something we sat down at the lunch and discussed. The only reason we're bringing it up now is somebody's close to it. We didn't talk about Reggie Miller having the 3-points record until Ray Allen got close. We didn't talk about Ray Allen again until Steph Curry broke it. It's the same thing, and that's why I feel like Oscar Robinson's so far forgotten is because we watched Russell Westbrook do this. Right. We saw a man put his blood, sweat, and tears on the court and go get those stats. But Oscar Robinson, I think it's just, we just hear about it.
you're getting aged out now because like even yeah, it just I guess and that's another thing with it is like are we just kind of now prisoners in where like our timeline, I guess, because my dad, I mean, I don't think he really watched Oscar because that may even be, I mean, he's 65. So yeah, that might even still be before he was really paying attention like that. So we talking about our grandparents' era of watching him, so they're all starting to get aged out and they're dying off to where now we're the adults saying, well, now LeBron, now Steph, now, so it doesn't mean that they didn't do it, but we're starting to become, well, I guess y'all kind of, but like me being a 30-plus-year-old dude, like I'm the older guy now that talking to these young kids going, no, man, listen, Kobe though. Like, and it sounds like I'm talking about some old guy. So that's crazy to me.
It's tough because also with Kobe passing, like his impact is not being like you had to be a really like diehard Kobe fan to understand how great he was.
Yes.
Right.
Currently, because now the players are only saying Jordan because of his shoes. Honestly, if you younger, they only talking about his shoes and his highlights, and it's like, oh my God, he had to be great because we all have everybody's wearing his Jordans, but nobody's
a terrible person.
But it's like nobody really dissects his game like they do now. LeBron is always going to be mentioned because he's been 2 decades, like 2 generations he's been playing. And then Curry is also going to be talked about in that situation now because that's what all the kids looking up to him. So it's like, honestly, like that's why I'm like, when people say like they don't have like Kobe in the top 5 or top 10, I'm like, what's going on? That's kind of where I'm like at, because I'm like, I feel like people just don't. I don't know. I think people are gonna forget what he actually did if you wasn't really a fan before, and it's hard to go back. And this is how it is because I think LeBron gonna be great forever. I mean, like looked at as a great. Michael will be looked at as a great, but going forward, a lot of people are gonna be like,
you're gonna forget about them. There's gonna be some disrespect on their names. Yeah,
for sure. But I mean, we already saw that happen like before Kobe passed away. We already saw like the talks going down where nobody was mentioning him in the GOAT talks. It was just LeBron and Jordan and whoever else they felt like throwing up there to disrespect him. It was just like a lot of people started pitching this thing now that, oh, he's just a Jordan B, he's baby Jordan. Everything
and
Jordan
I don't like
does,
that.
Kobe does. It's not realistic at all. Like
because people get better. It's the evolution.
Yeah, man. Kobe off the court just is 10 times, a million, billion times a better person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got Jordan on one hand, a man who's over here. I ain't gonna get into his personal issues, but this man did go on TV and say, Michael, why aren't you supporting anybody in this race? Oh, because Republicans buy my shoes too. And it's like, okay, so that's where your priorities are. You're already getting a check. You're already Michael Jordan. You already getting rings. Like, do you feel like you supporting somebody in a race is gonna make your shoes get like to a point where you won't be able to sustain your life?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh well, it's not my place to judge. I don't have that much money, so I don't know what I need to sustain it. So if that's what he felt like, cool. But even just on that alone, I don't like how people just like to go, Kobe's a baby Jordan. Because while he has Jordan's bag, for sure, he can do all the jump shots. He could steal the layup package. Like Kobe could do the dunk package too when he was younger. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like as Kobe matured and got older, his game changed, and the way he shot, the way he did the turnaround fadeaway, that wasn't Jordan. It was Jordan-esque early in his career, but after that, he took it to a whole new level.
Also, yes, the whole equivalent of like Jordan 2.0 or whatever, or another thing, like we don't say that for anything else, because with that same logic, that means that the iPhone 14 isn't as good as the iPhone 5. Like, things evolve and get
right.
better.
If he is Jordan 2.0, he'd be better than Jordan because.
Right.
Hey, yeah, I hear you.
Like is the 2022 version of a car, is that faster than the old 1960s version of a car? Like more times than not, yes.
Man,
it's just
it is.
we work on things, we knock off the kinks and get it better. Like,
but let's talk about something while we're here. Isaiah Thomas was on an interview with the podcast you like to watch a lot.
Pivot podcast.
Pivot.
He was on there with Pivot and Ryan, also the Noops. Shout out to the Noops. He was on there. He was talking with him, and Isaiah mentioned about how the league was changing the rules for Jordan to be successful, and I don't think that's talked about enough. You know what I'm saying? Kobe, there's been a few times where the NBA has basically said this is the face of our league. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Jordan was one of those times. Kobe was almost one of those times, but because he wasn't a happy, smiley, joy person, he didn't really get that fully. LeBron is the next person who got that fully, you know what I'm saying? So it's just weird to see that. And LeBron didn't get the rules changed for him either. Not for real. If anything,
he's just bigger and stronger. Yeah.
Right.
He still don't get the fouls. But
so we got to really sit down and think about how much do we need to take that into account? Because if Jordan is in the GOAT discussion and is only hanging on by a few different stats here and there, and now we're saying that the game was being changed for him.
Right. Oh, yeah. If everybody gets fair rules.
Per game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they got a whole, had a whole tactic to take this guy out of the sky. Yeah. And they had to change pretty much how all 30 teams played against this man. So it's like,
so that way he could dunk.
Exactly.
Because that's what's up.
There was even that part. Do you see that one where he was like, "Hey man, he fouled me on that last one," and he was like, "Michael, I didn't see it, man, but if you said it, then I'll believe you." How can you even say that? Especially in today. Think about if someone said that in today's league, how quickly they give out texts.
Oh,
they'd be giving out texts.
That's a mixture of the evolution of basketball and our culture. We're getting soft as people. You know what I'm saying? So players could dress however they wanted to and kind of bully them around a little bit. But now everybody can be the bully. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be the player bully like Draymond. You could be a ref bully like the one. I think he hates the Celtics. It's one of the two. But yeah, everybody can play that role. It's no just move, little ref.
Usually be the top stars can do it or have something to say. Not anybody.
LeBron comes at a ref sideways. Oh, they giving him a tap.
For sure.
You doing the running around crying on the floor? I don't care who you are. That's Jordan.
I don't know, man. It's just
get him all those views go down. Yeah, right.
Because at that point, it was also trying to go international. So pushing Jordan, that was a huge thing for them to get in the international market, especially in the Olympics. They was getting all those players to play. And having Jordan sign off to play and all those other, Magic and everybody else sign off, that really opened up for the international play for NBA. So, I mean, they was going to push Jordan regardless. It was just how things was going to go. But I'm also when we talk about the Jordan GOAT, going 6-0 in the finals actually pushes that agenda.
That's hectic. I forgot about that.
Because it's a difference between, because now we say LeBron, you've been there 9 or 10 times, whatever. But it's Jordan can always say, I never lost in the finals. I went 6 times.
And Steph can always say that I lost less than LeBron in the finals. And won just as many. And
one thing with the Curry, I'll say, I know you're looking.
You hate that, man.
One thing with Curry, I will say, he did get a Finals MVP, because I think if he won 4 rings without a Finals MVP, yes, he has 4 rings, but it'd be looked at a little differently. I know the first one was Rob.
I was about to say, let's be real about that Iguodala ring, man. Come on.
It was Rob,
the Iguodala one don't.
He got a great block, but I'm why did y'all do that? Y'all just messed up the history books for no reason. People gonna go through the history books and be looking at Finals MVPs, LeBron, Kobe, Iguodala.
Yeah, that's all right. So, okay, so like I don't know. It's just like sometimes people will like you'll push the good records to outshine the other ones. Like so, I mean, what I mean to say is like we'll talk about Jordan being 6-0 in the finals, but we won't talk about all the other years that he didn't even make it to the finals. We won't talk about how he got bounced in the first round by a rookie Shaq.
Yeah,
and was it a rookie? I think it may be his second year because it was Penny's first year. So I think it was like a second year Shaq. I think I can't remember, but it was a young Shaq in the first round. So we're not talking about all his first round exits early in his career. You know, I mean, of course, like, okay, if he doesn't leave the league for those 2 years, does he get 8? I don't know. But there were all those years that he didn't make it that we're like, we just somehow forget. Like we always just forget the negative stats for people that we like.
Yeah,
you know, because we rock with Jordan. Okay, well,
super team.
We call them super teams, but he was also playing against. I mean, literally, they made a super team to try to bounce to keep him away. The Celtics,
Spurs, man.
The Celtics was the first super team.
Oh no, they're for sure the first super team. But I'm talking about when Wade and Bosh and they got together to play against the Spurs, and the Spurs are by far. I just don't understand that organization. I don't know how they do what they do, but kudos to them. They keep on winning rings, and they look ugly. Well, not ugly. They look very on paper, man. They follow the book.
It's definitely cut and dry how they play. So
Pop got something going on over there, but yeah, they did that LeBron team all types of dirty. I did not expect that series to go that way.
For sure, and that's why I tell people I really put three-peats really up there as like a huge accomplishment for a franchise.
Yeah,
Lakers, Bulls. I feel like if Miami had, I know I'm gotta go back to Miami. If Miami would have won that first ring against the Mavericks and won those 2 additional ones, like I feel like we look at LeBron and Miami a little differently. I wouldn't say we put Miami up there with Celtics and Lakers and franchises, whatever, but as in rings and three-peats, like to me, those it's magnets. Like I don't know, it amplifies everything LeBron legacy wise because three-peat, like only like a lot of people got championship. A handful of teams only got three-peats, so it's like to me it would have been like that one. So it's one of those biggest regrets, especially that first year. Man, we should definitely beat that Mavs team, but the Mavs team that they beat, they went through a lot of.
They went through
a lot.
Went through hell to get there.
So we kind of cruised, and then the Mavs they battled older teams like.
Oh yeah, I think, and sure, we don't even got to stay on these too long, but honestly, I think that Mavericks ring is the most deserved ring I've ever seen. Like in my non-biased opinion, that one, because they weren't supposed to get that. Okay, it may even be a tie between them and that 04 Pistons.
I was about to say the Pistons ring,
because that team was the most like, I don't know, blue collar, hard nosed. Yeah. They didn't look like all-stars, but they was all-stars, and man. So I don't know, between those two.
Yeah, like the image the league and like outside of the league put on that Pistons team, they really didn't want them to win just because how they played. They came off a lot more rugged.
But that's the same thing they did in the past. Like even listening to Isaiah Thomas and going back and looking at the league, paying attention to the tapes, they calling them the bad boys. Hell, 90% of the league is the bad boys. At that point in time, everybody has a wrench in their shorts that they might hit you in the knee with in the second quarter. Watch your back. Like it was like that.
That's okay.
All right, man. Let's switch it up. Let's switch it up real quick. We got a random question. So we're gonna talk a little bit anime talk, just a little bit. We all kind of watch anime. Some of us more than most because I still got, I got a whole watch list.
Big fan.
So the question this week we're gonna have is, which anime world would you want to live in? So
okay,
you just drop yourself in that
Am I a random average person? Am I picking
you are
out
you.
who I am? I like who am I in this world? Am I a B-list player? Or am I A-list guy?
I feel like if you was dropped in the world, you'd be shown on the show. How about that? Like you want to be just a background character.
Okay,
You'll be in the cast.
Okay, I'll be recurring.
Episodes.
Okay.
We don't want to be like, I'm just walking carrying a piece of bread or something like that.
You gotta be careful because there's a lot of people who recur and die. They recur.
That's, man.
They come back about 4 times and die.
Well, it depends.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on what kind of world.
Yeah. All right. Okay, because I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this since you sent me the topics. And I had a couple of ways to go with it. I know for sure, no Attack on Titan. Keep me far away from that world.
Facts.
Okay.
No giant people eat meat.
No. Okay, so then I was thinking about some of the fun ones. You got the Dragon Ball Z's or the My Heroes. Reason why I wouldn't say there is way too crazy. So because you can call me a wimp or whatever, I'm gonna go with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Whoa.
Hey, people be dying to Yu-Gi-Oh too, bro. You know they used to have the matches where your life points connect to your heart. That was a thing.
True. Hey, true. But think about this. I don't have to be a dude that even plays in this game.
There you go.
I just exist in that world.
Like,
I just exist in that world.
Man. Okay.
Hey, that's a safe pick. That's a safe pick.
I was not thinking that way.
Yo, I'll be a bartender. I'll be a bartender at the tournament.
There you go.
No, you gonna have to play the game.
Oh, he is.
Okay.
We can't let you come that easy. That's a background.
Right.
We gonna have to,
okay. No, but I'm a cool one, so they give me lines and stuff. Hey, okay, I got some razzle dazzle. Yo, what kind of drink you want?
Like, maybe,
you know what I'm saying?
Maybe he was like a practice.
As soon as he said that, I said, "Oh, safe Beyblade, I'm in there."
Okay, right.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what I'm like.
I'm the bartender at Beyblade.
Okay. Matter of fact. Okay, since I'll be my same self, Pokemon. I own a gym. I'm a Pokemon trainer.
And people just run through you to get badges.
Right. Yo, man, come fight my Charizard. You know what I'm saying? We good.
And I mean, you can get injured too. I don't know what y'all thinking. Like, it ain't no simple, like, Pokemon be like 9 feet tall. What are you talking about?
But they fight each other. You ain't never seen nobody get smoked on.
I know, but y'all get some collateral damage sometimes.
No, ain't no collateral damage. No, that doesn't happen. He hasn't watched the Pokemon. My son, y'all don't. Essentially, most stuff.
Who y'all got? What y'all got?
Charizard got a little flamethrower. All right, you kind of sent it on the curveball on that one. I did not see you go in that direction. Yeah, because now I'm picking a super hard one because mine was Naruto because.
Oh, he dead. He dead.
Mine
should have said Boruto.
Because, okay,
don't nobody die in Boruto. Naruto. Get out of here.
The reason is because at least I know I can train. For the most part, I'm gonna have a decent ability. And I ain't got to fight in the war.
You gonna train.
But I'm saying at least I'm trained enough to protect myself. Most ninjas can't protect themselves, I would say.
How did they do in the Great War?
That don't say I ain't gotta participate in the Great War. I ain't gotta participate.
Everybody participated, Jamal.
I don't gotta participate.
Everybody participated. You gotta participate. If you're gonna be in Naruto world, you gotta do Naruto world stuff. That's what they do in Naruto world.
That's facts.
You try to be the accountant for the ninjas? You try to be an accountant?
Right, bro.
No, I'm gonna be a ninja.
Hey, look, when the village get burned down, he's just gonna be the side guy who dies. House fell on top of him.
Only like the ninjas went out to war, but then you have some ninjas that was guarding like the women and the children back in the village.
They died, remember?
I'm gonna be a guard that lived.
Oh, okay.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
But since you went that way, I mean, I couldn't do Pokemon, but I might go Digimon. But that's only because I know for sure I ain't getting hurt. Pokemon, I think y'all getting hurt. Digimon for sure. I think I'm safe.
I'm gonna choose Avatar: The Last Airbender. Wait, no, Legend of Korra. I'm going with Legend of Korra.
But I was about to say
at the end of Legend of Korra, far at the end, not at the midway through, not seeing her grow up. I don't want to be.
Hold up, because we had this debate, we had this talk. Avatar's made here.
Huh?
Avatar's made here, isn't it? That's a cartoon.
No, it is made.
We did talk about it. I don't know where I rank it though. Like,
remember, that's the only reason why I said Pokemon, because you told me it was. You told me Pokemon is an anime, so I was like, all right.
It is.
All right, so yeah,
it is an anime. I don't know how to say it. It is a
No,
cartoon.
you're right.
Cartoon because that's what we looked at.
Right.
Avatar is
okay. If we're not counting Avatar, and this is a weird one, and I'll take the risk. It seems like where input in effort in equals what you get out of it, straight up, and that's Hunter by Hunter. And I'd be willing to do all of Hunter by Hunter except for the insect arc. That was the worst thing ever. We could have lived without it. I hated that arc. The bug arc was too much. It was too long. But outside of that, I'd do Hunter by Hunter because I feel like it's just straight up like, if you study, if you work hard, if you train, you could be that guy. Everybody can be that guy.
Yeah.
That's a smooth one because you also, because you can also be a hunter for money. Like, do you not even have to go on missions? Like,
exactly, bro. You could be a hunter who cooks. You could be different types of. You could be a big game hunter. You know what I'm saying? I'd just be a hunter with a little bit of bread. That's it. But some people some people sell their ID for $100,000 because they don't even need the ID. They just need their name to be on the list.
True. Get certain events and stuff like that.
See, and that's okay. I like that. See, because I was thinking about like My Hero, because like we was talking about in pre-pro that like 80% of the humans in that world are born with quirks. So like there's a chance that you could get a cool quirk, or you can end up not, or you could be like in the business classes or whatever. But the reason why I wouldn't say My Hero is because of all the collateral damage. Like, you could just be in your apartment and boom, like, you know what I'm saying? Some monster.
If you've been watching My Hero lately, if you haven't been watching it lately, people are dying. Okay. People, every episode, somebody is
all right,
dying.
so here's the thing. Okay, so Jamal I've been chopping it down.
You've been trying to get it.
Okay, so I'm at like almost the end of season 5.
Okay.
All right.
So
yeah, come on.
I'm getting
to the party.
On to season 6.
Yeah, I'm almost there, y'all.
My Hero started as such a beautiful cartoon. It was like, I love watching My Hero. It got my heart up. I was like, I'm gonna have a good day. I don't watch My Hero. You know what I'm saying? Chipper as hell. Now it's like, what?
Dude, I was tripping when what's his name?
Day. That's how I feel every episode I watch. We fight to live we live to fight another day.
Dang, that's how I felt when what's his name died? The doc or the sir, the one who could see into the future or whatever. Hind Eye.
Oh wow. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was like, oh, okay, so anybody can go. Got it. All right. I got to get used to this because
I'm not gonna lie. I like anime when it's gonna sound bad. I do like when they start killing off people because in these worlds, like everybody can't live. I hate when it's like from episode 1 to episode 500, everybody can't make it through. I'm sorry.
Nah, I feel it, especially if it's a hands, if it's a powers, if it's like people.
Exactly.
Yeah, all this blood and y'all ain't died once.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
I feel that.
I just I know we're going off top a little bit, but I just finished Promised Neverland. Have you watched?
Never heard of that.
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it though. I see it on the thing.
So this finally got me.
I know. This one I watched on Crunchyroll, but this is like you have a group of kids in an orphanage. They believe they're in an orphanage, but they're not actually getting shipped off when a kid leaves the house. Pretty much there's demons involved and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to give too much out of it. But some kids end up understanding what the situation is and they try to escape. They understand the world's more massive than their own house on this little village, whatever. So I'm like, it was cool, but now that y'all didn't watch it, I don't want to give out too much. But to the end, majority of the people made it. And to me, if you're dealing with kids in a new open world, this is one of those that don't have like powers, nothing like super gifted or anything. It's kind of like, you just go out there and run outside trying to defend for ourselves at 6 to 12 years old. So I'm like, to me, I think a lot of people should have been dead in that, but
you just mad because you was a weak 12-year-old.
I mean, think about it, weeks in the forest, and the only time you seen the forest was through like reading about it in books. Like they never went anywhere. So it's like, to me, like they don't even have enough informational knowledge about the world to live off of it.
Yeah.
And then everything was provided for them in orphanage. Like they didn't cook, they didn't clean, they had learned all that stuff while they was out there. So it's like, to me, I'm like, it's super unrealistic. First season was super dope though. I will say that. The second season's what everybody started living a lot. So so
niggas started having longevity.
Yeah, people wanted to go on to the end of the show. So
why y'all get to be alive?
Yeah, I mean, but going back to the world I want to live in, I definitely see myself in a world where I got some type of power, some type of ability. I don't want to be just existing. I know we all want to live, but I also want to have some powers as well. So that's why I kind of was like Naruto. Digimon, I like it just because of nostalgic and just one of my favorite shows growing up. But
yeah,
you also have like a pet with powers, so it's kind of cool. But to me, it's got to be something with some type of power. I just can't be just walking around existing.
What was that one anime where they race those giant robots, kind of like in NASCAR, but they're like big suits? It was kind of like a roller derby for real.
Gundam?
Nah, it wasn't Gundam. Gundam was fighting. They
was throwing hands.
Yeah, no, that was for death. Yeah.
Y'all never watched. It was kind of like they were on skates. You know what I'm saying? And the main team was yellow and blue.
Oh,
I don't know.
I can't. You might have to look that one up.
That's another one I'd be willing to.
We have to look that one up.
They just race. They don't do anything too dangerous. People die because they was like racing people like for the championship. I'd just be an average racer,
What about like a sports one? Like, I haven't watched the basketball one.
Nah, they be going people, bro. I don't want nothing to do with that, bro.
You don't want to be on the sports one?
Nope. They be talking hard about people's feelings, man. They be like, your mama. Don't talk about my mama.
Yeah. No, they trash talk is way different on there, man.
Yeah.
They be like, yeah, so I see you're still mourning the loss of your father. I'm like, yo, easy. Be on the why you have to say that here?
Fine.
I mean, do I want to live or want to have some hurt feelings? I don't know.
I'd rather risk my life. Because I mean, like, if you a B-list character on that anime, you getting ducked. No, it's you. It's you. You have no hope. A B-list,
right? Like if you Yamcha, if you Yamcha,
right? Nobody trying to haloed up all the time, and nobody trying to be Yamcha.
I gotta wait for you to remember to wish me back.
You had Bowman lost to the Vegeta. Like, you ain't never gonna get that back.
And everybody know about it. That's crazy.
Right.
You can't even fight the dude for you can't even be like, yo, man, I'll fight you for my girl back.
Nah. Yeah. Ain't no point in that. Vegeta wouldn't even want to fight.
A lose-lose situation, huh?
Yeah. So no, that's funny. That's funny, y'all.
Yeah, man. But y'all let us know in the comments, man. What world y'all want to live in anime wise? So think carefully on this one. So
yeah, because it gets a little sticky. Like One Punch Man, ain't no way. Something like that. But yeah, man.
Oh, I surely wouldn't live in what's the Demon Slayer? No.
Oh man.
No.
That's
Anywhere
crazy.
with demons, Inuyasha.
No.
Nah, I'm cool.
What's the one with the Soul Eaters? Bleach? No.
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Tokyo Ghoul. They be killing people.
Anything that sound like that. Definitely,
Yeah,
man.
with it.
Oh,
Because what if you accidentally cut them off in traffic or something?
Bro,
they just having a bad day.
bitch in the silver Lexus, that's your ass.
Like, and then I got my Instagram on my back doors.
Oh, you open?
So he's like, let me look his name up. Oh no.
That's a wrap.
I cut him off, then head to the mall, pass out while I'm looking at Jordans or something. Like, man, nah.
Man.
But yeah.
All right, man. What about all right, we're gonna wrap it up. So do you have any shout outs this week?
Shout outs. I've been trying to think about who to shout out, which direction to go with it today. But I'm gonna keep it simple. I just watched my little sister, 17 years old, Delana Reed Moore, do a really good speech today. I almost want to post it somewhere, but yeah, it's for like Black History Month. She's actually in the NAACP youth. So yeah, she's doing big things. She's in honors, making all A's and B's. And yeah, I see her definitely being better than her older siblings for sure. So yeah. But yeah, man, I'm just a proud big brother, man. Much love to her. So yeah, I'm shouting her out this week, man. I'll put her stuff in the bios. But yeah, shout out to Delana for killing it today.
Shout out to her, man.
Yeah, man,
she's doing great things for sure, man. Let me see. This week, I'm gonna go with this guy named Noda J. He does this wristwear stuff. He got this braided bracelet that he came down to Augusta a couple months ago. They had like a little mini fair with some food trucks and some vendors was out there. So I chopped it up with him. He did a couple custom bracelets for me. Of course, I'm really into wristwear and bracelets, and I wear them like every day. So just shout him. I think he's based out in Atlanta. I'll definitely drop his stuff in IG in the bio as well. So yeah, he listens to the podcast every time as well. So probably have him as a guest.
Okay.
Come up here shortly too. So
that's what's up.
For sure.
Got anybody, man?
Hey, man, shout out my line brother, man. My line brother Reggie. He has his own clothing brand called Velour Stripes. You can find that on IG as well. They got sweatsuits, t-shirts. They do a lot of school-based stuff. They work with a lot of schools like Jackson State, Tuskegee University, Auburn. They got a lot of different gear for a lot of different people. And then he has some of his own personal designs, some sweatsuits and things of that nature. Y'all check him out, Velour Stripes.
Okay. Yeah, man. Also, my cousin Matt, he's in y'all frat. He's a noob. Yeah, my cousin Matt Thandy. I've mentioned him a few times. Mavenu. Yeah, the rapper I shouted out. Yeah, he joined a couple years ago.
Where he
pretty cool.
Was it
pretty
cool with the grad chapter?
Yeah, it was while he was in school up here at Wichita State.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's cool to see, now that I'm around him all the time, he's always like, this person's a noob, this person's a Kappa. I'm like, so I hear it all the time. Like, okay.
Now you see everybody does it. It's not just him. It's not just him.
Yeah. And now I'll be noticing. I'll be like, yo, this comedian is a noob. He's okay, yeah, and starts following him, But yeah, man, that's what's up. Oh, and before I forget, I sent them to you already, but I also want to shout out Godhood Comics. Yo,
yeah,
Black-owned comic. You already know I'm already into comics as is, but these, whoa. I read the first 6 issues of The Antagonist. Oh, they got something. They need to hurry up and come out with the rest. So basically, this one is about this Black family. It's a guy and a girl, and they have 3 kids. But it goes back to when they first met. Like they reached, there was like this big meteor or something crash, and so they touched it or whatever, and they got powers. So the husband is he has like Professor X powers plus Jean Grey. So he can read minds, plus he can move all this stuff. And he's really smart. The mom or the woman is like Superman. She's super strong. She has laser vision, ice breath, and all that. Like, so they start off as like good, but I think that if you were like a black dude and you read nothing but like Americans' minds for the past like 40 years, you'd end up going, all right, man, I hate everybody here. Like, you know, and trying to do good and trying to, at first, eventually you become a little bit more Killmonger than T'Challa. And so now they're kind of like the antagonists, the bad guys, and they go into hiding after like this really big incident against like basically like the Captain America, or I would say he's more of like a Homelander character that they fought, but that he used to be side by side with at first. So now they go into hiding, and she gets angry at her job, and it sends basically the CIA and the FBI after their family. But they have 3 kids who are also strong. So the son is invulnerable. The woman or the daughter, which is a little bit younger, she can do the whole like kitty pride thing where she can like phase through stuff and all that, walk through walls. And then the youngest son is like a super genius. So he's like, he found a cure for cancer when he was 5, but he doesn't want to share it because of what they'll just do to him anyway. Super smart, makes all these like gadgets and stuff. And so as a family, they're just like kind of going back and forth between good and evil on top of being on the run and all that. So it's crazy. And they be talking that shit. And you can tell that it's like made from Black people through their experience, you know? So like, yeah, Godhood Comics, look on there. They keep selling out, but they got the digital one. So I just keep reading it on my laptop for now. So
I'm trying to get the hard copy, and I'm not even into comics, but I definitely want to get the hard copy. So
no, for sure. I'm gonna have to check it out.
But yeah, man. Everyone, you know, definitely, of course, follow us. Stay tuned. We got more coming. And as always, whether we chat like bros or I debate you like an enemy, it's all fun and games. Just match my energy.
Just match my energy. Just match my energy. Yeah.